So I'm going to send you to this website to play around. And this is going to look a little more similar to what my colleague George Reuter is doing in his video. So let's say I wanted to add a half plus a third. Okay, so here's my nice colorful strips. And then what I would show is that I can drag this and I can find that a half is equivalent to 3/6 and a third is equivalent to 2/6. Therefore, the sum of these two fractions is 5/6. All right, so you try this with a half plus a, what do I want to add? A half plus a fifth. All right, what would a half plus a fifth be? Okay, so I'd have to find some equivalent to 1/5, which would be 2/10. So it wouldn't let me go below the fifth without starting here. But again, I would drag these up here and you would be able to see that a half is 5/10 and a fifth is 2/10. Therefore, this sum is 7/10. Okay, and I'd be asking students to pay attention to things like, how could I look at my denominators and see my common denominator, right? And they're going to say things like, oh, you just multiply, right? Because sometimes the least common multiple is simply the product of the two numbers. We learned that in the last segment. The least common multiple is the product of the two numbers if the two numbers are relatively prime. All right, if we went to add a quarter and a sixth, the least common multiple would not be 24, the product, it would be 12, right? Because we would do 4 times 6 is 24 divided by the GCF to get the LCM. Okay, but again, play around on this website and think about how you would use this in a real classroom with real students.